The Tao of Self-Confidence, Episode 816. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. Visit our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Your inner journey to self-confidence awaits. Well, hello, friend. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. I'm your host today, Sheena Yap Chan, and today I have another amazing Asian woman who boss up author. She is the founder of the Law and Mediation Offices of Elizabeth Yang, and I'm really excited to have her on and share her story with us today on self-confidence. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Elizabeth Yang. Elizabeth, how are you today? Maybe you can fill in a little bit more about yourself to the listeners.
Hi, Sheena. Thanks for having me on. It's a pleasure to be here. I am an attorney that specializes in family law, business law, intellectual property, and also estate planning here in Southern California. We have offices in Monterey Park, Irvine, downtown LA, and also Beverly Hills. So, we help inventors protect their ideas. We help people going through one of the most difficult times in their lives, divorces, and get through the struggles. Help business owners with all their business needs, and also help folks protect their assets with wills and trusts.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And Elizabeth, what's your cultural background?
I'm Taiwanese American. My parents are from Taiwan and my grandparents are from China.
Thanks for sharing that. And how does the model minority myth hurt Asian women as a whole?
I actually don't think it hurts women as a whole. I think the model minority myth can be seen as beneficial to women. It really comes down to perspective and interpretation. I think folks can see any kind of idea as positive or negative. So I use it to my advantage at times. I use the fact that I'm female and I'm Asian. And a lot of times, when I was in the engineering world, for example, because my previous career was engineering, they wanted to hire more women because there was a shortage of them. And so I feel like I had an easier time getting a job versus a man did.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And why is creating a stronger representation of Asian women important for you?
Well, I think it's really important because we want to be role models for the future generation. I have a daughter that I'm always wanting to set a good example for. And so if we show them that this is doable, then we're setting the stepping stones for our children going forward.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And I totally agree. Our future generation needs someone that they can look up to and realize if it's possible for her, then it's possible for them. And how does it feel being that representation for so many Asian women around the world?
It's a tremendous honor. When I was an engineer, I was one of the few females in my class. And then even working in the company, there was only like a handful of us females. And so we were definitely setting an example. When I became an IP attorney, which was what my focus was right out of law school, same thing. A lot of IP attorneys have engineering backgrounds. And so there was definitely a shortage of women, needless to say, Asian women. So we were in this small percent, like 10% or so. And so it was great to be able to set that example and let other women know that, hey, you can be an engineer too. You can be an IP attorney too. It's not just a career for men.
Thanks for sharing that. And sometimes you just need one person to make a statement to show what's possible, and everything else will follow along. And so I'm glad you're able to be that representation in the field that you're in. And share one reason as to why every Asian woman needs to read this book.
Well, this book is amazing. It's a compilation of all these tremendous leaders, CEOs, business owners in the community, Asian women specifically. And so it tells the stories of all the different authors and what struggles they came through, what challenges they overcome to get to where they're at. And if you are a thriving business owner, or if you have goals that you want to achieve, then read this book because you'll learn a lot of mistakes and not to make them along the way.
Thanks for sharing that. And yeah, it's amazing to be in this book, right? To have, 16 Asian women, 18 Asian women highlight their stories and even have them on a cover of a book. It's something that's not typical. And, I really thrive on creating a representation and elevating Asian women's voices. And I'm always trying to find different ways. So I'm really excited for this book to come out because just seeing that cover is just even more inspiring to see what is possible for other generations and for other Asian women out there. And what can readers gain from reading your story?
So for my story, I share about the fact that I went through a divorce, and it was one of the worst divorces in the history of divorces. It lasted 4 years. Between my ex and I, we spent about $500,000 on attorney fees. And at the very end, it was like dragging and just wouldn't end. But my theme behind my story is that challenges are actually blessings in disguise, because as difficult as this stage was for me, fast forward now, if it wasn't for my own divorce, I would not be practicing family law. And in the last year during the pandemic, family law has been the most popular law in our firm. Everyone's been wanting to file for divorce because couples are getting sick of quarantine together and spending like so much time they're not used to. So if it wasn't for, what I've been through, I wouldn't have this thriving practice that I have now. And then just FYI, my ex and I have decided to become good friends and co-parent our children together. And so I've been able to learn that and share my lessons with my clients and with everybody to let them know that fighting in courts during a divorce is not the right way to go. And so that's why we specialize in mediation and helping clients settle their cases, which is what I ultimately did, instead of fighting it out. There's no winner in a divorce battle.
Thanks for sharing that. I think that's great. You're able to teach others through your own experiences, right? Like you mentioned, everything happens for a reason. It could be a blessing or a learning lesson. And if we see things that way, we can look at life, a little bit different and just keep moving forward. And Elizabeth, could you share one boss up tip for the listeners out there?
Absolutely. So my mission in life is to live life to the fullest. Don't waste a single millisecond. So whenever there's an opportunity that arises that will allow me to grow, I always say yes to it. And the more scary and more challenging that decision is, the more I know I need to take it. So whenever you guys hit a crossroads as to what do I do, decision A or decision B, go for the one that will help you grow.
Thanks for sharing that. And I love how you use fear as to embrace on your decisions or to make a decision to go for it, because sometimes fear can really stop us from taking action or, have resistance towards it. But if we use fear as something positive, realizing like, this is that stepping stone we need to move forward, to have that confidence, to build courage, anything is truly possible. So I really love that boss up tip that you mentioned to our listeners. And Elizabeth, where can the listeners pre-order the copy of the book? And if you have any other social media profiles or links you want to share with us?
Yeah, they can contact me directly. My website is yanglawoffices.com and my Instagram handle is yanglawoffices.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And to our listeners, if you want to connect with Elizabeth, you can also head on over to the taoofselfconfidence.com and search for Elizabeth's name. Her show notes will pop up along with everything else that we talked about. And I really just want to thank Elizabeth for taking the time to share her story and journey and tips with us on bossing up as an Asian woman. So thank you so much, Elizabeth.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you for the invite, Sheena.
Not a problem. It was really great having you on the show. And to our listeners, be on the lookout for another new episode of another amazing Asian woman who boss up author sharing her tips and stories. So be on the lookout for that and talk to you soon. Bye for now. Thank you for tuning in to another amazing episode of the Tao of Self-Confidence. You can order your copy of Asian Women Who Boss Up book by visiting our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Your inner journey to self-confidence awaits.